Gotta love having magic. Sorry for the massive typing. Magic. What's a good character that always has amazing magic most of the time if you give it to her? Realm.
Well, I think with this, I'm not sure if you mentioned this because I did cut out a bit just for a second there, was that we actually start with plus 10 magic power on all characters. So even your normally your scions and others who aren't normally great at magic are at least viable. In fact, I think realistically the only non-magical viable character that you're going to possibly encounter is Umaro because that's just not his thing.
Hi.
And there's
This is very magic heavy. We
okay.
also have multicast on, and economizers are going to be very, very nice in this flag set. We find them, that is.
And Glue, can you give us a little bit of history? This was from the Battlegrounds, correct? Okay,
Any
so
natty magic? Very
yes.
sorry.
Sorry about so Terra is normally one of the stronger just in general, but also stronger magic. She's one of the in the vanilla who starts with natural magic. And again, as we mentioned, Cyan and Umaro not quite there, but that plus 10 can help. And we do see some divergence. Honeydew taking advantage of having Terra in the party to go loot Imperial base.
Yes, indeed. And this gives us some good leeway just to get some, hopefully, good loot early on.
It's also an early free check. So again, the scaling is based on characters, espers, dragons, which means dead checks do not increase scaling. So free checks are a bit safer than they are in other kinds of flag sets that are based on check scaling.
Yeah, it's very, very unlike the Warring Triad. Very unlike, because checks used to make things very ugly in some spots.
And another interesting aspect is that the enemy scaling is based entirely on checks, espers, dragons, the XP and gold rewards are just characters in espers. So there's those dragons are not going to boost your overall XP for future bosses. So it's a bit more limited, but there is another benefit. There is the ability to learn all lores. If I believe we can hunt down the gold dragon, which is going to be hiding amongst the 8 dragon spots somewhere.
Ah, yes, the dragon's somewhere. We don't know where, but we'll
And
find it.
if I remember correctly, gold dragon is lightning based, so that's what you're going to be wanting to watch out for. And I believe you can berserk it to get past some of its more annoying abilities.
I think one of those are Bolt, right? Or is it Gigavolt?
It can do anything. It can do a whole lot of lightning-based stuff. Bolt Edge as well, if it wants to target a bunch of people. Gigavolt, just standard lightning magic.
Yes. That's what the use of thunder shields can be used for at this rate, to make sure we can negate that and not get absolutely obliterated by one dragon.
Well, it's not quite a economizer, but Golden Shocker did find a golden hairpin, which does half the MP cost. So that's a good start, considering this is going to be magic heavy.
Yes, indeed. Especially with limited casting of espers. What about once you get your Bahamut? Larg. Larg until you don't have any more to larg with.
And Ultimate is available. This is an older flag set prior to Ultra League Season 5. So the Curse Shield can be as low as 3 battles. So finding Lock and getting that Curse Shield could be another way to get some really decent magic power.
Yeah, I think we were talking before stream that this was mostly to test, what if we give the players Ultima? What will they do with it? And we know what they will do with it now.
And I believe at the beginning, Glue did mention that there are going to be cheap rods available. So instead of having like the 10,000, 20,000 gold cost rods, they're only going to be in the range of like 2,000, 3,000, I believe. So that's some really cheap early power. There's a Thunder Shield. That's very good, especially for that Gold Dragon later.
Yes, indeed. That's going to be very nice. And there's some Dragoon boots hidden in that shop.
Yeah,
Could be a possible place to look back to.
Yeah, the real prize to find in any of these rock shops is going to be earrings, because those are just straight up bonus magic power.
More magic power, the merrier.
And as we saw from Honeydew, this is just going to be a Genji shield, but they do have check parity now. Both of them have done the Esper Gate.
I believe in the beginning I saw that glowing stones can possibly be in our auction house if the runners do seek it out.
Yeah, according to the flag set, I believe there's a maximum of 1 possible Esper at auction house. Yeah. Earrings in the barrel, so that's a good find.
Only 1 pair so far. Are there more? No.
Yep, that store just had, it's a World of Balance. South Figaro has them in the rail shop, so and you can see Honeydew's just selling and just stocking up.
The more earrings you have, the happier it's going to be in this run. Because, well, magic's going to be very, very important just due to how the flag set's made. Sleeping bags. I think that's going to be enough for the run. Maybe.
Yeah, South Figaro World of Balance seems to have a lot of really decent stuff in their shops.
I wonder where Edgar got all of that.
I mean, do you want me to explain trade economics? Because I'm not sure I have time for that right now.
I don't think we have time for that either, and we might bore the chat. Who knows?
Fire rods, there we go, 3,150.
Very nice.
That's like a 80% discount of what you might normally see in Ultras League.
This is going to make you want to buy more of them. Shh, we didn't tell you that. More the merrier. This is an early Let River? Oh my.
Yeah. I mean, it does make sense. It's of the characters that are here, this is probably the one with the, fairly standard get ahead of the check scaling, or I'm sorry, get a hold of scale enemy scaling encounters. You could potentially do the Dome of Siege, but if that boss at the end of the siege is particularly rough, you could be in some real trouble. Whereas this, there's probably plenty of opportunity to get some levels before having to face the boss at the end.
Yes, indeed. It'd be very, very crappy to have to fight, like, one of the Warring Triad, or maybe Magimaster.
Yeah, Magimaster would probably be the real MVP for the enemy side in this particular flag set.
Yes, our magic is stronger. But what about Magimasters?
I mean, until they find
Still come for you.
Berserk, is definitely a threat.
Yeah, they might find it eventually, if they're lucky.
The other options are going to be like Flare and Ultima, or just trying to guess what his elemental shield is.
Yes, indeed. It looks like so far we have Runic, Terra, Blitz, Sign, and Umaru just...
Okay, so
things.
so Blitz has a lot of things based on magic power. I think you may have mentioned that earlier. So that Scion's going to be actually fairly useful with those magic power boosts, especially if you put some earrings and get the levels you need to get up to Bum Rush.
When in the world and where in the world did we get fixed dice for that Umaru?
Yeah, I didn't catch that, but that is going to be probably one of the better options for now. Yeah, just because, again, he doesn't quite get the same benefit from magic power boosts that the other characters do. That Terra has gone down a couple times. That's not great. You do want to make sure she is getting levels. Yeah, I think that's the second fight where Terra is taking a nap at the end. Is he trying to... I remember back in the ancient days of Final Fantasy VI, when we were all young and full of life and energy, that you could just, continually like go the wrong direction on Leet River to fight more and more and just get more and more levels. I don't necessarily think that's what he's doing, because that does take quite a bit of time, but it is an opportunity if you want to like do that. Uh, Other than that, yeah, I don't know if there's something special going on with Lee River, or if it's just the best option that we have at this moment for getting levels. On the right. Yeah, and we do see Narapa at the end, so slight speed bump, because that's realistically all Narapa ever is. But I mean, at the same time, those Dominus Siege guards could be Gigantos, in which case you can just rack in the experience. Now, if we find a Blizzard Orb for Umara, would his magic attacks from that scale off of magic power as well? Right. Yeah, Golden Shockers has quite a bit of trouble keeping some of these characters up. Did he go shopping at all? Because I don't know if he has Phoenix Downs either. Berserk on that Tritalk is going to be very useful against Magic Master. Yeah, and we have and I think we said it was Golden Dragon, and I think isn't Golden Dragon also vulnerable to Berserk? I believe it was learning all lores, although we don't have the lore user character just yet. We are seeing a lot of Atma weapons because I'm pretty sure Narsh Weapon Shop was selling them, and we just found one in the Narsh Treasure Room as well. Well, it could also be sort of something that changes over time because I think Atma weapon is generally more powerful towards the end of the seed when you have the levels to back it up. Yeah, I mean, right now the only thing that might be pushing them to go to 42 is the fact that we have a Blitz user right from this get go, and so getting that experience A on Cyan and then getting him to 42 at least would get us Bum Rush. Okay, yeah, so this is Mount Zozo. So we started with Cyan. So this is basically our target dragon in Sphere Zero. Yeah, I think the only unfortunate thing is that we didn't get Berserk learned yet, I don't think. We definitely have it on one of the Essers, making good use of that runic to absorb some of those attacks. That's a Raiden, so that's another Esper. I didn't catch it. Did Honeydew suplex a train or just crack the rod and move on? I think we just need to shun him for a bit. Like, just sort of do a moment of silence when we bring him in for an interview and let him try to figure it out. Well, Honeydew is going to be encountering Gold Dragon soon as well. So it's really a question of where is that lore user? I think Grand Train sort of acts like a Ultima Light. Yeah, so Mobez is peekable. Doma Dream's sort of peekable because you can see the character during once you're past the stooge spot. Um, Umaro's obviously peekable if you are in World of Balance and go up to that area where the Umaro character normally like pops out of the cave. I'm trying to think if I don't. The other option is Zozo, right? Yeah, so Go Shocker is doing the dream right now, and Honeydew is just about to finish up the Mount Zozo, and we'll see where he goes after that. Another Ultros fight. This looks like 4. Yep, there he is. So yeah, no XP, no magic power from this, but it's also relatively safe fight. And Honeydew is also doing Dream. There's been quite a bit of like overlap in chasing. I think the only thing Honeydew has done that is different is Domus Siege. And I don't know if Colton Shocker has done anything that Honeydew hasn't followed in doing just right after. And Colton Shocker just found a gem box in the Phantom train. How would is X magic going to be even more powerful, or is it still sort of questionable because of the delay between the cast times? Oh, that is a question, huh? And Fumbaba, reminding our runners that Moblez is at place, is actually the dream boss today. Leg day. Okay, I didn't know that. I assume because he was lightning, he might be vulnerable to water. If he gets like characters that are obvious choices to put in instead, I think you can get off Maro. If you're ending up with characters that, even with the plus 10 magic, just don't have very good appeal, maybe you hold on to it longer. I think that once we get a few more characters found, and there's some options, Maro will, be put on the sidelines at that point, left to guard the airship. Yeah, so there's still no new characters, but 2 new espers. Tower skip is 12 espers. Uh, oh, there's their fast kill. Golden Shocker's back in World Bounce is going to do the Dome of Siege now, so that'll put them back on parity once he's done with that. That seems only fair. Yeah, that was X Zone. That X Zone hits. will finish up around the same time, so they're back on parity. And Honeydew has done a bit more shopping and a bit more looting, so he probably has a slight advantage in terms of that. And Honeydew was making use of that, what was it, Y sprite, or I forget what the exact Y command was. So yeah, so just messing around with some of the, yeah, there you go. Just messing around with some of the enemy sprites or NPC sprites. Yeah, and then also looks like he's messing around with the Y button too. Just don't have much else to do while you're waiting for those guys to climb the stairs, I guess. They're, yeah. And did we actually peek the Umara check? And they did pick up a hero ring somewhere in Zozo. That's lore. So we've got our lore user now. Not something you see every day. The other advantage is Saban opens up a lot of checks that because we were running towards the end of the available checks, and now we got some new ones. Honeydew, yeah, he found Gigantos in the monster box. Because he's a big chunk of XP in a big chunky form. Oh, that went by really quick. Okay, Golden Shocker did not go and check the monster box. Yeah, Tyrannosaurs are not enemies I like seeing, just because, as you said, they can take a while to get rid of, and during that while, they can do some nasty stuff to you. And as we saw on Honeydew's side, this is going to pay off because we got a wild child. I did not. Do you think they'll just go straight to Veldcheck right after this then? Yeah. But as you know, the dried meat is very likely either going to be in Nakia or on the airship. Yeah, so throw is still going to be pretty decent in this flag set. Do the elemental schemes scale off of magic power? And that does give you another source of water elemental damage in addition to the aqua rake. No, I do not know what you just realized. Have I just been talking to myself this entire time? Okay. Well, I've learned some stuff. I don't know about anyone else.
Alright, testing 1, 2.
I mean, I already have a reputation, so it's probably not going to affect me in any way.
Give me 1 second.
Sure. So I'll just talk to myself some more. We do have Baron Falls. Yeah, double Baron Falls. This is a fairly obvious choice to make. It's right there. It's super fast.
Okay, audio testing 1, 2.
Guardian. Ooh. Well, luckily we do have some water and
more
lightning
test,
damage available. And they went into this fight nearly at the same time, so this can be a fairly decent test to see just their like relative power levels for this.
I think I got it sorted out now.
Okay, and Golden Shocker decided to stay with the Yeti while Honeydew has put in the Throw Child.
Okay, there we go. We got it sorted out. I apologize for that, ladies and gentlemen. Joker is not crazy. I've been here the entire time talking to him.
Yeah, and like I just pointed out, Honeydew and Golden Shocker have encountered Gao and made different decisions on what to do with them.
Yeah, we saw Honeydew saw that Morph throw Gao, and he brought him in immediately, and Golden Shocker's going to ride with Yamaro.
Yeah, less than 1,000 damage off that body slam. As you mentioned, the fixed dice don't really help with body slam damage, but they do help with like regular attacks.
And
Or not that one.
not that one, but I whispered this in the Joker's ear ever so gently earlier that the pros to the fixed dice Yumaro is that you get some of the rolls where you were doing 8k damage early at a very low level. That is fantastic. But Yumaro's body slam is based off the attack power of your weapon, so the fixed dice have no attack power. So that's why you see these body slammings coming out doing, even though their ability, it's an ability that ignores defense, is doing next to no damage, and that's because of that fixed dice. You know, on one hand you can do tremendous damage. On the other hand, when you throw out the body slam, you're going to do very, very low damage. So there's some pros and cons to that setup there.
They still got through fairly close to the same time, though.
Yeah, I'm surprised Honeydew is not running laps around Golden Shocker with everything he's found that Golden Shocker doesn't have access to, such as those fire rods, all of those earrings, and now he's utilizing the throw morph Gao. I think that's just a testament to how efficient Golden Shocker is being with his menu times and his ability to get through his battles as efficiently as possible without having lesser resources.
And Honeydew is checking the shop.
I think he's on his dried meat hunt. I would figure so, and that's Edgar. That is character number 6. Now we just need 2 more espers. And there are more espers out there than characters to be found. Plus we have access to Yumaro's check, which we know is only going to be an esper or an item. Plus we can take a dragon while we're up there.
Yeah, and we can also go through Edgar's checks fairly quickly. They all sort of like route together real nicely, and there's a dragon in that one as well.
I don't think we'll be seeing some of Edgar's longer checks. Prometheus, this is a nice fight. You want to see it later on because he's not the most experienced S, but he's on the upper echelon of classes you want to see because he's a Kefka's Tower encounter. He can be a little scarier when you're a lower level, but he's weak to a lot of the stuff Tunnel Armor is. Easy fight for a decent amount of XP.
So it's just a slightly more powerful Tunnel Armor?
Honestly, you wouldn't be out of line if you wanted to up the difficulty of the game if you switched the 2 encounters. Alright, so looks like Honeydew is going to go into the Phantom Train himself, give up on his dried meat hunt, and get his Edgar as well.
Could the shopkeeper ghost on Phantom Train have dried meat?
They could. It is one of the spots that they could be in. Fortunately for Golden Shocker, he is not the second, on the 3rd train cart, he is not the second one from the right. He brought in his Edgar. I wonder what ability Edgar has. Well, he can wear the Atma weapon. That's good enough. And that's an offering. I think that offering is probably going to go on Yumaro for Golden Shocker.
Now, do you agree with Honeydew's choice to take Cyan with Blitz out?
Yes and no. It does take, upwards of over a minute, depending on how far inconvenient traveling up to Duncan's cabin is for you, to learn Bum Rush. Bum Rush is a fantastic ability. It can easily get the quad 9s, especially with the 10 magic power boost that these flagsets are giving us. But do we really need to go spend a minute doing that if we're cooking on all cylinders with Fire 3 or the Atma weapon or everything else we have found so far? Is it just overkill? Does that going up there allow us to complete the rest of the game faster than if we hadn't? Because I don't think it's a matter of do we have the offense to get through. We have the offense to get through. It's just a matter of what's the fastest way to do so. So
Okay.
Either answer is fine, and it's up for debate. I do think, though, that I probably would have kept the magic boosted Cyan with the Blitz. And the reason for that is with our levels right now, Edgar's going to get that strength boost esper, but there's not a lot of levels left to gain, so those boosts will be minimal. And while boosting is nice, the minimal amount of strength we're going to get versus the bonus is going to pay off is going to be minimal, just because that's the way the strength formula, the physical attack formula works.
Okay, and Honeydew has also found the Katana Soul. Would that offering go on Edgar to boost the Atma weapon?
1000%, because that's his plan for that Edgar. That's the entire purpose of bringing him into the party, is to utilize the Atma weapon. That's Slayer Edge mix. Miss.
Yes, the Slayer's Edge missed.
Oh no.
Yeah, I mean, that was he used Sourmouth from the lures to affect the muddle, and we got the discount Magimaster at the end.
Yeah, sometimes when you're later in the game, it's almost faster just to kill Katana Soul than to do these shenanigans where you're trying to convince him to Slayer Edge himself, or always lasso him into confusion. Honeydew realizing that now. It's definitely worth a stab or two, but if it doesn't work, just go on back to plan B. You're doing 3k fire 3s, that's more than enough to knock this guy out.
How much health does Katana Soul normally have?
In the vanilla game, it's 20k-ish, so at this scaling, I don't know. It's 6, 7, 13. It's around 20k, maybe a little bit over, but not much over. So really, you see that fire scheme and the fire 3, and this grant. That's really about 2 full rotations of your character's turns to take it out.
Okay, we see Golden Shocker heading towards Mount Colts, I believe. It looks like he had briefly considered going to the Figaro throne room, but then changed his mind and is doing the Mount Colts instead.
At this, we need 2 more espers. Extra characters do us no good. There's probably enough espers in our remaining checks that our runners have available to them. I think we'll probably last the location, Figaro Castle. We're just trying to see, since this is on the way, it's convenient. Let's see what's here and then go on about our business.
Edgar is the most recent character, so there is a good chance that yet another character will be behind one of Edgar's checks. So is that why they're avoiding Edgar's checks and trying to finish up their existing ones?
That is true. You are more likely to find characters behind your newer characters throughout a Worlds Collide seed. But also remember, we still have Gal too, and we don't have the dry meat, and we haven't done the trench yet. So there's no guarantee there's a character behind either or, but it's more likely than, say, doing savings, because we've done 4 savings checks, and we found 2 characters. It's possible there's more characters behind savings checks. It's just so unlikely that it's more likely to be an item or esper that playing the odds.
So do you think we'll see Collapsing House next?
I think we will eventually, because we also have access to the Zen Thief. In the vanilla Final Fantasy VI, the Zen Thief and the World of Balance can sell you an esper for a higher cost than you can in the World of Ruin. In Worlds Collide, it's a random amount between 1 and 65k between both worlds. Since we're going to there to do the Collapsing House anyways, we might as well do Zen Thief. So this is probably just Golden Shocker hedging a little bit. There's probably an Esper item here. If I can get an Esper here, then I have 2 more chances to get my Esper at Zen. Plus I'm in the neighborhood of Kefka's Tower as well. Might as well do that.
Yeah, and Golden Shocker did find that there was nothing but mountain fish here. There's Bismarck.
Yeah, so he just needs 1 more Esper.
So Zen Thief is a pretty solid thing to at least check.
Yeah, Zen Thief and his Collapsing House, that's 2 chances to get it. Honeydew is going to World of Ruinarsh. This is going to be the Yamaro play. The Yamaro checks the Tritok, Yamaro's Cabe, and probably take the Dragon while he's up here. I think Golden Shocker just reformed his party. Yep.
Yep, Amara's out, and I think Cyan is in, or Edgar is in, one of them.
Edgar's in. You know, there's not much else Golden Shocker could do that I don't view as a slap in the face. He didn't suplex the train. He didn't pet the dog. He's taking Yamaro out of the party. I don't know if I did something to offend him, but we'll have to get to the bottom of that. Blue Dragon for Honeydew at the Ice Dragon spot. Blue Dragon's one of the scarier dragons that he can open with some AoE attacks, but with some minimal, with some decent defensive items, you can survive through this pretty easily.
Is the Blue Dragon vulnerable to any status effects?
He can be slowed, but if you slow him, he just turns around and gives it right back to you. And he is weak to thunder, obviously. Thunder, water kind of go hand in hand with that, or electricity and water. Fortunately, Blue Dragon doesn't have a robust HP pool, so he's typically easy to take down if he can survive his AoE attacks.
And Golden Shocker is also headed up here.
Yep. More fixed dice. Or in Honeydew's case, his first pair of fixed dice. Alright, so both of our runners are in the same spot, Joker. Golden Shocker is one esper up, but Honeydew has some more of the pieces of equipment you would want for a final Kefka fight. Who do you think is ahead here to get into the tower first?
I feel like Honeydew is going to get to the tower first, but I don't necessarily think that's going to necessarily mean that he gets the win. Because as you know, like, the tower can throw all sorts of fun stuff at you. But there's also just, they do feel fairly like on pace with each other. And so it really just comes down to, well, actually, I guess Golden Shocker might be the first in. And you see, it's very hard. I think they are fairly evenly matched.
So here's the thing. If this is double Esper, Honeydew is probably the first one in the tower. If there's only one Esper here, that means Golden Shocker is probably the first one in the tower. Also, there's a decent chance Honeydew might go back and load up on some more fire rights because he knows the locations of those. So we'll see here. This first Tritok spot is going to give away a lot of information on what's about to play out. And it is an Esper.
So that'll put Golden Shocker in go mode as soon as he's through this.
Yeah, and strength +2.
And Honeydew needs to go check the Umara spot, probably.
Oh no, what happened to Golden Shocker's stream? I think Golden Shocker's stream just went down. Let me get that sorted out. I'll be right back, Joker. Oh, not be right back. I'll be working on that.
Sure. And in the meantime, Honeydew is just going through the Umar Cave section. We'll have to fight whatever boss is here, and we'll see shortly if this is Magicite. Yeah. And it is Spicy Chicken guarding this last Magicite that Honeydew needs. Opening with Wave Cannon. Gal getting 3,000 damage off of the shuriken. 6,000 damage off of branch rain. And using flare, it's non-elemental, even though it looks like fire, so it will not heal him. It will actually damage him. South Cross coming out. True Steel, okay.
Alright, he's back up. Let's get him situated here.
It does look like we're getting Collapsing House and Zen Thief check on Golden Chakra side.
What do you think Golden Chakra is looking for there in that, he's busy in the shops in Zen there?
Probably just anything that he's short on supplies for. Maybe looking for rods. Trying dried meat is still an option, but I think he's... Did he... Like, where is he at for his espers? Is he there? Is he trying to get skipped?
He does have his 9 espers. I don't think... So, there is a skip available, but it's at 12 espers. So, we'll see what he may be going for there.
Well, if this pays off and Zen Thief pays off, that would put him at 11 espers.
Because he's at 9, he could potentially walk out here with 11 espers. If he can go find one more esper fast. But he did nope out of Yamaro's cave, so... That would have been esper number 10 for him, and he was really, in the area.
Just another app weapon.
Alright, we got Honeydew heading onto the tower at the 55-minute mark.
Yeah, so it looks like Honeydew just did not care about getting skip and just wants to get to the GG.
And I imagine we'll see Golden Chakra right behind him, not too farther once he gets his equipment sorted out. So we're going to have about a minute apart statue, or a Towers entry here, Joker. Who do you think has the advantage going into these final Kefka
I'm still
tower?
Feel like Honeydew has the advantage, but it's very close. And I'm still wondering if Shocker might try a few other things to try and get the extra espers for skip. But without that, it looked like he just completely skipped to Zen Thief, though. I'm not sure if he checked it and didn't find it, what he was looking for. But apart from that, it's... Yeah, I mean, maybe he was going to go for the skip, but didn't get the esper off of Collapsing House, so pivoted to just doing the full tower.
It looks like he was a little desperate for some defense items, too, so he was like, Diamond Armor's Diamond Vest, why not? So many people can wear them, I might as well.
Okay, Ambush is the Dolahan.
With Fire 3, this fight isn't going to be no fight for either of our, or no big deal for either of our runners. I will say that Honeydew is a little more better equipped. If there is a Magi Master lurking in this tower, Golden Chakra is going to do the full right clear, it looks like. The reason I said that about Honeydew is because his Gao has access to Shurikens. And Shurikens will do ignore defense and connect every time. That solves the two biggest problems Magi Master throws at you, is high evasion versus high defense. If you just ignore both, he's typically no problem. So if there is one Earthling, Honeydew is better equipped to deal with him.
Yeah, and doing a full right clear does mean that Golden Chakra will have to go through the tower multiple times.
Yep, the plus side, the downside is to doing this is you have to go through the tower twice. but the plus side is that your full party members, all 4 of them, get to do all of these boss fights with the full party together, so they all get the experience for these boss fights.
So Honeydew, splitting the party from the start, only wants to go through the tower once and is confident in that he has the power between all of the group members to do that.
Yeah, we've seen Doomgaze, we've seen Poltergeist. We haven't seen all of the scary bosses, but there's still some floating out there, out in the wild, that could rear their ugly head.
I don't think we've seen Magimaster yet. We've seen Junior Magimaster, but not the actual Magimaster.
No, we haven't seen Magimaster, we haven't seen the Stooges, we haven't seen the Tentacles, and hiding, which can pose some problems in a 1v1 fight.
Goddess is still on the table, and Doom is still on the table.
Yeah, I don't think Goddess would be too scary of a fight because we have access to an offering plus very powerful magic spells. Either of those things can typically handle Goddess very well. But nevertheless, some trouble could arise for our runners.
Yeah, you see Honeydew's just going right past those dragons, so he's confident that those would just be a waste of time for his final time at this point.
So generally, to beat Final Fantasy VI, you need to be in the low 30s in levels. The lower your level is, or excuse me, the higher your level is, the more you can get away with stuff. For example, there are some things you want for the final fight, such as healing, restoratives, instant death attacks, the spell mute, and then some things that can allow you to physically evade physical attacks. Because Tier 1, Tier 2, and Tier 3 have some things that will come out that you want to be able to evade or mitigate. If you're a higher level, you can just power through those things. But if your levels are on the lower side, you need more of those requisite pieces of the puzzle to navigate the challenges that the final fight can possess. So I think Joker, Honeydew is taking the approach that my levels are good enough, my pieces of equipment are good enough, I can get through this. While Golden Shocker is feeling the reverse. He's saying, hey, I need a little bit more levels. I don't have all the pieces of equipment to get through the final fight. Thus, I need to do this and get my levels a little bit higher so I can safely navigate the final fight.
Okay, and is this Vargas the Guardian spot?
It is, and a little contradictory because Vargas doesn't guard nothing except some experience that you're going to get for defeating him. It's typically not too scary of a fight.
From what I gathered, the bears can be scary at these spots, but those bears already are down.
Yeah, if you're front road and they claw you, claw can't hurt if you don't have any defensive equipment equipped or anything worthwhile defensively. But you don't need much to get through Vargas. Even if you don't have targetable offense like that offering, you'll cut through the Apus pretty fast and then narrow down and hone in on Vargas and take care of him pretty easily.
Okay, we're going to see a statue now.
Yep, we got a leader who is not a scary boss either, so 2 out of the 4 bosses that are remaining are not scary in the slightest. But that still leaves 2 though.
So is one of them going to be tunnel armor and this just sort of cheesing out at the end?
So there is, generally speaking, there are more easier bosses than there are scary ones. So it kind of comes down to how much risk do you want to put into this. Because most of you tend to remember the ones where you get stuck by behind a Doomgaze or a Poltergeist or whatnot. Then you remember all the times you had that type of scenario where Honeydew just had, where you cut down 2 bosses very fast. And that's typically the case in Worlds Collide, is that there's easier bosses up here. Just because there's more of them in general. You just tend to forget that, and the ones that sting you linger a little bit more so.
Confirmation bias.
Yes. Recency bias, especially if maybe you had just played a flag set where you got up here and you couldn't get through a boss. And again, that's Ultros 3, so 4 of the 5 bosses you have to fight to walk through Kefka's Tower so far have been a joke.
And I think we've seen all the Ultras except for one now. I don't know if
I
we
don't
saw
think we've
Ultras
seen
1.
Ultros 1. We saw Ultros 4. We saw Ultros 3. He could be on the other statue side, just confirming how easy Kefka hours can be sometimes.
But yeah, so far these statues have been very safe.
And again, even though our levels aren't north of 40, we do get plus 10 magic power. And that just carries its weight the farther you go into the seed, because typically magic tends to tailor off towards the end of a Worlds Collide seed. But when you have that magic boost, that it's going to allow it to be a little more viable. Well, it always is viable, but it's a little extra viable as stuff progresses for our runners.
Okay, Honeydew has one statue to go, and Golden Shocker's through his first statue.
Yep, and let's see what this final boss is, or this final statue boss. It is Tri-Talking. That's another very, very, very easy fight.
As long as you have something that can get through its defenses, which is usually fire or piercing, I think, is what you need.
Yeah, you either need fire. If you don't have fire, you need non-elemental. And non-elemental, you can get a little creative with. Sometimes you can use Flare, you can use Explorer, you can use a Valiant Knife, but Fire 3 is going to cut through Tri-Talk because he has no magic defense. So, Honeydew will be stepping on his switches around the 106-minute mark, while Golden Shocker will be doing his second trip through Kefka's Tower at the 106-minute mark.
Yeah, all in all, it's been a very close and very competitive race.
I think it has been, but there are moments throughout the race through a seed where that are pivotal that you just don't realize after the fact. And obviously for this one, it was when our runners were within a minute of each other of going into Kefka's Tower. Honeydew risked it for the biscuit. He was able to navigate through the tower. Golden Shocker probably would have been able to as well based on the quality of bosses we found, but he played it a little safe, and it's backfiring on him now. So his hope here, he doesn't know this obviously, he can't see Honeydew's screen as we can, but his hope here to catch up is Honeydew stumbles, because there's no way he can complete the rest of the seed fast enough that Honeydew wouldn't be able to complete his seed as well. He really needs Honeydew to progress through these various tiers, at multiple tiers, and then stumble, allowing him a chance to catch up and Honeydew to waste time.
And there are plenty of ways you can stumble during this fight.
Yeah, Final Kefka is never guaranteed. Tier 2 has some nasty debilitating attacks that can really throw a wrench into your plans. Train is no fun if you don't have access to echo screens or eye drops or remedies. And plus you're always in danger just from columnists coming out and not being able to evade it.
Okay, the first tier, the bottom of the pile of Kefka, is this fairly standard fight. Long arm is vulnerable to breaking and insta-death. The head is vulnerable to fire, and you want to get rid of both of them first, otherwise they have some nasty counters if they're the last component on the screen.
Yeah, the head, if it is the last one alive to go down, it will counter death counter with Quake. Whereas the long arm, if it's the last one alive, it will counter with Shockwave up to 3 times. Shockwave is just a physical attack equivalent of a magical attack. It can't hurt if you don't have any A tier or S tier equipment. But what a lot of runners will do, and we'll see how they do this here, is what we just do is we leave the short arm alive last, because his death counter is just a physical attack. And as long as we're at full HP and don't eat a critical attack, we should be able to survive this relatively easily. Yep, and we're down to just a short arm. Even better, he's utilizing Vanish because all this short arm can do is physical attacks. So now that Edgar has a Vanish on him, as long as he never casts another spell on Edgar, Edgar can't be touched the rest of this fight. And he's back rolling the rest of his party members just in case physical attack connects on them, and we'll do a little less damage, and this should do it for this tier.
Yeah, that was an Atma offering, it looks like.
His Terra is in danger. If Terra takes a crit, she might go down. But nope. Gal must have a snow muffler equipped because he's Yamaro's snow muffler. Oh, plus he got the snow muffler from Mount Zozo. One of science checks.
So this second one is probably one of the more complicated ones because there's 4 different components. The central component is tools or machine, and it'll throw missiles at you, but it's also vulnerable to instant death. The guy on the far left is a magic user. You can silence him or just deal with all sorts of random magic cold hacks throughout the entire fight. The guy on the far right, the blue guy, is a hit. He does 10 hits at the end if he's for his final counter. So you just have to be able to deal with that. And I think he's vulnerable to stop. The sort of nasty one is the tiger head at the bottom. Vulnerable to ice, but if you let him live too long, he can turn your characters into zombies. And if they're zombies, they don't get to move on.
No, if your character has the zombie status effect between tiers, they effectively are removed from the rest of the game unless you reset. They do not advance to the next tier to continue assisting you. So Honeydew making great use of Sour Mouth there on Magic. Magic, as Joker mentioned, is susceptible to mute, and what Sour Mouth does is just inflicts a bevy of disability attacks or status effects such as mute.
I think so. Can Magic also do any kind of like break or stone or petrify kind of attack?
I forget which one that can cast Muddle on you. I think it's Tools that cast Muddle. I'm pretty sure it's Tool that can cast Muddle. Magic, though, as a death counter or a counter once its HP reaches critical stages, can cast Quarter, which in itself is debilitating, and that it does fractional HP damage to you. If you have any type of magic evasion, though, you have a decent chance of making it miss. But because it is not a one-time counter, it can come out multiple times, but it will only come out the final time if it's selected, if the chance of it hits during the death counter, because it won't come out during the critical counters because he is muted.
And we're seeing right now the sort of difference in the Kefka tower approach. While Golden Chakra did have a safer approach by stacking the Brute 3 or right-hand side, does mean that he had to go through the tower again to get to the side statues. Mm-hmm. And so is now just getting through that Phoenix, or I'm sorry, that Tritoc fight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the aggressor is typically rewarded in Worlds Collide, and we're seeing that definitely here with Honeydew. He navigated the tower as is, despite not having as much, despite having as all the desirable offense as you want. He had more than enough. Whereas Golden Chakra took a safer approach, which is unfortunate because we saw Golden Chakra earlier. He was considerably ahead of Honeydew because he chose to open less chests. He chose to dive right into the Elite River. He was flying neck and neck despite Honeydew opening more chests, having access to earrings and all those fire rods. He was coasting along, but then when it came to the end, he elected to take a safer approach, and
do you think
that wasn't the move to make?
Felt that he had to take the safer approach because he had done the, didn't get all the same stuff that Honeydew had. So when Honeydew got to that point, he was like, okay, I have everything I need. I can just do this in one tower run. Whereas Golden Chakra was like, I didn't get this thing, I didn't get that thing, so I need to take it safer.
It could be one of those things where it doesn't matter what happened before. I made a blackjack reference earlier, probably when I was muted, but nevertheless, if you hit on 15 and a 6 comes out and you blackjack, you get 21, that's fantastic. And it's normal to feel, hey, I did this the last hand and it paid off. Maybe it won't pay off this time. It doesn't matter what happened the time before. You still have the same chance of that paying off or not. But you do run into sometimes where you start thinking that, hey, it's my luck about to run out. Whereas luck doesn't actually exist. Momentum and luck are not they're concepts. They're not actual facts. They don't exist in the real world. The only thing that exists is the same odds of a chance happening. And maybe he just thought, I got away with the Elite River being the Rappa. Then I went up there and just fought easy boss after easy boss after easy boss, and was able to get away with not looting so much and quickly diving into checks, that it's going to catch up to him. Whereas none of that really matters in your next decision making. All that matters is that you continue taking those chances.
And Calmness comes out, blocks the first one, blocks the second.
Yeah, we're on the tier 4 for Honeydew, while Golden Shocker is wrapping up his tier 1.
And Honeydew did manage to get the entire starting party through, it looks like. When I say starting party, I meant the ones that he started the Kefka fight.
His final 4, if you will. How is your bracket doing, by the way?
Probably losing. I'm guessing that.
I haven't checked it in 3 weeks, so that's not a good sign.
Yeah, I think I had Houston winning, so I'm not sure. I think they didn't.
They lost to Duke in the Sweet 16 a few weeks ago. But
yeah, so that probably means my bracket's not very good at all.
Moving on, though, this is really just a race against the clock for Honeydew. He's going to wait for Fallen 1 to come out before he does any type of healing. He does have access to 1 Mega Elixir, which he'll bust on out. Now that his party is back up the bar, this is going to just be an offensive onslaught to push Kefka to blow, or do 30k damage total. Then we're going to wait for Goner to come out. Goner is a non-animal attack, but Kefka kind of tips his hand and says, kind of warns you that it's coming, and the screen starts shaking. And the reason that is important is because while Kefka is charging up for Goner, he cannot counterattack. Otherwise, in the part of the script where Goner is an option, he can do a bunch of nasty counterattacks to you. There is the Q. Goner is charging up, and now we're going to really pour on the offense here from Honeydew. GG's Crack Pow, 1:15:39. It's the time I'm seeing on his screen as he does that.
Yeah. Now, again, this was a Battlefield or Battlegrounds flag set. How was that? Like, what were like sort of the average times for back when this was first brought out during Battlegrounds?
I'll look at the event spreadsheet. We're joined actually now by Honeydew. GG's Honeydew, 1:15:39 was the time I saw on your Crack Pow. GG's. I'll look at the event. How are you feeling?
Thank you.
We're joined actually
Thank
now
you.
by
GG's. Yeah, it's a pretty powerful seed. Magic was cracked as expected. The only regret I had was I forgot that free checks were turned off, so I shouldn't have done sealed gate. And even Zozo was a little bit questionable. Yeah, would have got done locking 14 checks if would have remembered that, because there wasn't any dead checks, you know, in the fighting checks.
What was your plan otherwise to cultivate some offense and then navigate through the various challenges that a Worlds Collide C will present to you?
With this flag set in particular, just had to, you know, look out for the magic. And during my early looting, was able to find a flame shield and a thunder shield. Yeah, that's why I hadn't dove in Elite River and learned Fire 2 on Thunder 2 on the 2 people that wasn't Yeti. And with that, my offense was ready to go. And any little magic I found along the way helped. It's kind of neat that they had that objective where you fight the gold dragon and you get all the lures unlocked. Then I find a lure Sabin afterwards.
Yeah, that was the dragon is random. It just happened to be the gold dragon, and then luck behold it's the first dragon that both of y'all actually came across. Towards the end of the seed, though, you did find the morph throw Gao, and then you found the Edgar with your Atma weapon in the bag. What was your plan out there when you switched out the Cyan and the Yamaru there for those 2 characters?
Yeah, just to make the team more well-rounded. Yeah, Terra and Sabin both had Fire 3 and 9 elemental magic, and had Gao throw on with the plus strength esper. So, you know, just to get that last little something to round it out. Just went ahead and put the other strength esper on Edgar, and even though I was very satisfied with the Cyan, I just went ahead and let him go. Because even though he wasn't bad at anything he wasn't doing anything special except, like, you know, I could have had Mantra on Blitz if I would have kept him. But yeah, I'd rather just have the fighter. Especially since, you know, I had the stat boost and Esper for him ready to go.
Yeah. Did you play this flag set back during the Battlegrounds event?
Oh yeah, I was on the returners. I did every race every week.
And does it feel about the same as it did back then, or is like just the things that have gone on since Battlegrounds like open up new ideas or new strategies for how to approach this particular flag set?
Yeah, I'm a bit less nervous nowadays than I used to be back when I actually did Battlegrounds. Just at this point, it feels like I've seen and done just about everything. You know, obviously I haven't, but you know, I'm a lot more seasoned now, so when I just had to dive into this, I was like, all right, let's do it. It won't be the scariest thing I ever ran.
Yeah. And then, was there any sort of feeling of nostalgia coming back to this?
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty neat. Yeah, I very much enjoyed the Battlegrounds event, so it was nice to, you know, dip a toe back into it. My favorite flag sets from the events was like, I like Vector and Zozo was fun 1 or 2 times, and also like Doma, the permadeath one. Just cause that was a pretty nerve-wracking one, but it was fun to do.
I'm sorry. So at the beginning of this, we did give the racers options of choosing between this flag set and the Coliseum Umaro flag set, which was a much more physical attack-based one. What sort of prompted your decision to go with the Thamasa flag set?
Yeah, once I saw it was going to be a one-on-one race, I wanted a more traditional flag set because I really enjoy racing against Golden Shocker. Me and him go back and forth all the time. So I figured this flag set would give us the most, it's not quite standard UL, but I figured it'd give us the fairest race.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if it would have been like a big 10, 15 person race, I might have went with Umaro just to see the chaos of went right and wrong with everybody. Mm-hmm. But since it was a one-on-one race, I want to go ahead with this more tame flag set.
I think. I'm sorry, I just was going to say, I think the two of you were very close to being lock and step for much of the thing, but you were hitting the same checks around the same time.
Yeah, y'all were within a minute of going to the tower at the same time, but Golden Shocker elected to walk the tower twice. He put his full party on the right side, cleared the far right lane with 4 party members, whereas you navigated the tower with the intention of only doing so one time, and that was the pivotal moment right there throughout the sea, because y'all were within 60 seconds of each other. But obviously, once Golden Shocker committed to that, he needs you to stumble, and unfortunately, the bosses that were between you and Kefka were a bunch of pancakes, a little syrup on top, and they're good to go.
Yeah, the middle lane had a little something, but that was a strong lane. I just felt really safe in the tower. I was in the high 30s. Everybody had 9 elemental damage. I had fixed dice on Sabin, which I didn't throw once the entire seed, but hypothetically, if he would have ran into a gimmick boss he couldn't handle, I could have put offering dice on him. Mm-hmm. And Taraka used the Atma weapon, so hypothetically, if she ran into something gimmicky she couldn't handle, I could put offering Atma on her. So I just had a plan for everything. I just had to win that Guardian fight in the middle to get that save point, and with prep time, I could beat any boss in the game in any lane. So I wasn't afraid to go in and do it all in one trip.
Alright, so I would be remiss, Honeydew, if I didn't ask you about what happened today, what starts today, and that is Ultros League Season 6, which, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't signed up for it, and you were on the fence about, you still do have a little bit more time. League starts today, but we do accept signups for the next couple of weeks. You can do so at ultrasleague.com. Honeydew, what is your expectation for Season 6? Do you have any unique strategies you're going to bust out? Do you have anything you've practiced and trying you'd like to disclose? Maybe just me in private, you can PM me, you don't have to tell everybody, but if you want to talk about that a little bit, go on ahead.
All I know is I'm glad I'm not in your group. I don't need that kind of stress in my life. But man, I got so many killers in my group. Every Elixir group has killers, so I'm excited to see how every Elixir group goes. I'm probably gonna be doing like all 3 Elixir seeds and a Mega Elixir seed like every week just to compare times. But for my own group, it's gonna be a struggle not to drown because this absolute monsters top to bottom. Oh, and funny enough, shoutouts to Fred. This is the 3rd season in a row we're in the same group with each other. Hopefully we both get to go to Mega Elixir together. Yeah, we started in Sonic together and we've been inseparable since.
Yeah, if you both finish 1-2, you can complete the quadfecta and be partners one more time. Honeydew, GG's. Joker, do you have anything for Honeydew before we
No,
Shocker finishes
I
up
think
here
we covered pretty much everything. Thanks for joining us. Obviously, this wouldn't have happened if we didn't have both racers to join in. So thanks.
Yeah, thank you guys, and the UN Ultros League. Anybody that hasn't signed up, it's still time to sign up. I think we got like 109 entrants at the moment, or 110.
114.
114. Yeah, we can make it to 200. Let's go.
Alright, GG's again, my dog.
Have a good weekend, y'all.
1:24:15 is the time I am seeing for Golden Shocker. Let's ask him if he wants to join us for a moment. And as Honeydew alluded to, and I briefly mentioned, we'll plug it one more time. We'll tout the company line. ultrasleague.com. Season 6 underway today, but still time to join if you're interested in doing so. I just inquired with Golden Shocker if he'll be joining us. Let's give him a few minutes to wrap up and see if he wants to come along. There he is. Golden Shocker, can you hear me, my dog?
Yep, I hear you.
GG's 1:24:15 is the time we got you down for. Unofficial, by the way. The actual record books may indicate a little differently, but 1:24:15 is what we'll go off for this point of the interview. What are your thoughts on the Thamasa flag set and your performance overall?
I mean, it's a fun flag set. Really, it's just finding good magic early so that you can take advantage of the increased magic power, which I didn't do a great job of, but it is a fun flag set. It's definitely, if you just find the right combination, you can go really fast, as obviously Honey did.
Yeah, there was a pivotal moment in the seed. Y'all were neck and neck, literally seconds apart when y'all had the unlock, and then you elected to do the full right claim clear, obviously, and Honeydew didn't. And the bosses that stood between you and the final fight were a little bit of a pushover, and he was able to power on through. What was your thought process on that decision? Why'd you elect to full right unclear there?
I was thinking that scaling was going to be up to 50, and that really I didn't feel like the sending everybody individual rows was going to work out. So I was like, might as well get Edgar a lot of extra levels with his Atma weapon, so that he could kind of hold his own, which he still wasn't really all that great at the end, but that kind of is what it is. But that's at least what I was thinking.
And did you play this flag set back during the Battlegrounds event?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, and how does it feel different? Does it feel the same? Feel nostalgic? Or like just how has, I guess, the flag set or yourself changed?
I would say the thing that was unique about Thamasa back in the day was that it was the flag set that had Ultima on it. And we didn't have Ultima in Ultras League at the time. So like that was like routing Ultima, figuring that all out, was always kind of the thing with Thamasa. At this point, honestly, I played that maybe a little bit too much like vanilla Ultras League at this point. Just because it's been such a long time I haven't played Thamasa, so I was a little out of practice. definitely felt a little rusty going through it. But as far as the increased magic power and getting like that Fire 3 online, I thought that was really fun. So from that perspective, I think that's always a fun flag set because any kind of magic you have is going to be useful here.
And we would be remiss. We asked Quinn to do this as well, but obviously I'm asking you right now. But Ultras League Season 6 kicked off today. You are in Mega Elixir, my dog. What is your strategy as you approach the challenges that Mega Elixir will present to you this season?
I don't know if there is a strategy other than go really fast and get ready for Elixir Season 7. For me, I mean, there's it's just an unbelievable group of people. I mean, I was looking at all the different tiers today. Like, even like at the potion level, there's a few folks even in tonic level where I was like, I don't know if I could beat these people on a regular basis. Just an unbelievable amount of people and talent. People playing this game really well. I mean, all the Elixir tiers are very, very stacked. There's several, different, very competitive groups there. So, I mean, it's just going to be a fun challenge. Looking forward to it, and hope I do well.
Yeah. Why do you think that is the influx of new people and new talent? What do you think may be the reason for that?
I think it's just a lot of people really enjoy the game. It's been a great community. Everybody's really been engaged in all the events, all of that. So I think naturally, as people enjoy the game, people enjoy the community. Like, people are going to get really good at the game. So I think that's kind of a credit to everyone. All the admins, all the people that do the events. Just across the board, like a lot of great people in the community, and I think it kind of shows in the talent and the competitiveness of something like Ultras League.
All right, Joker, do you have anything else for Gold Shocker before we let him begin his quest to climb through Mega Elixir and its various challenges?
Just a quick question. At the beginning, we did offer the choice between Thamasa and the Coliseum Umaro. What made you choose Thamasa?
I honestly had no idea what the the Umaro seed was. Like, I've never played that flag set, so I was just picking the one that I've played before.
Umaro. He won't betray you.
I mean, you're the expert of that more than anyone. So
no, the Coliseum Umaro flag set is actually pretty cool. You start off with plus 10 vigor, and then like all the Coliseum flag set, there's perks to go in the Coliseum. And for your Umaros, if you win a Coliseum match, you get another 30 vigor on top of your 10, so you get 40 vigor total, and then you also get auto berserk. But I think I don't remember off the top of my head, but I think there's a very robust amount of items that are that you can view in the Coliseum, so it's very much worth your while to go ahead and accept the auto berserk, get the strength bonus, and just start mashing through everything physically.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean,
that was
auto
also
berserk seeds scare me.
But the logic behind that, let's give a magic based one and a physical based one, and just let whoever wanted to run decide. That was the thought process behind that. Golden Shocker, GGs again. We want to thank you personally for joining us. You got anything else you want to plug before you bolt on, or you want to give a shout out to?
No, just shout out to everybody that was working. Glue, Joker, Nay was on earlier, so appreciate everybody that did the restream, supports the community in general, and hope everybody has a good day.
All right, my dog, GG's. Thank you again.
Yep, take care.
All right, and Joker, thank you for joining us. Thank you, Knuckly, for tracking, and thank you, Neriliana, for starting out, and then she had she had the bolt, and that's when I came in. I actually came in, right when she bolted, but y'all didn't hear me because I had muted myself for about 30 minutes. But nevertheless, lessons learned for next time. Turn your losses into lessons. Joker, do you have anything you'd like to give a shout out to or mention one more time before we
so as Blue mentioned, I am not actually crazy and don't actually talk to myself all the time. But I'm glad I could. I normally work Saturday evening, so normally I'm not really available. I'm usually like asleep, so I can do my overnight shifts. So this, I happened to the night before swap a shift with one of my coworkers, so it just was sort of serendipitous that I was available at this time. So I'm glad I was to sort of get to see a peek at Worlds Collide's past.
Yeah, that's what we just kind of wanted to showcase with this. Just some different flag sets. Because we'll be seeing a lot of Ultras League, and rightfully so. It's a fantastic flag set. The skill level you will see, especially at the top with runners like Honeydew and Golden Stalker, is so fantastic, and, and so impressive. The ability they're able to minimize their decision making and navigate through a seed is just amazing to watch. But nevertheless, we wish them both the best of luck in their upcoming Ultras League Season 6. Joker, I don't believe you signed up.
I'm. Oh, what just happened?
On the fence.
No, I'm just in this subtonic group, so there's not really anyone for me to compete against, and I'd probably lose anyway. I'm still sort of in training to actually be anywhere decent enough to like I was in seasons 5, and due to like a really bad play, forfeited my first race, and then due to accidentally catching one of my group members play the seed, had to forfeit the second one, and just decided, okay, maybe I should try again later. Because you only get 2 forfeits, or at least you did in season 5.
No, you get your top 6 performances count, and your bottom 2 are drop off, whether that's a performance or you finished, last place or not. But
yeah, so I was already like 2. Those were already going to be. I just didn't really have that much wiggle room after that, and yeah, so I decided to just sort of focus on like restreaming and multi worlds and stuff. And I did have actually Golden Shocker do a VOD review of one of the Ultra League Underground seeds I did, so I got some good information from him from that.
Yeah, we do have a mentor program. I do think one of the reasons for the increased number of players that you see Golden Shocker looks across the various tiers, and he sees a lot of scarier players. I think the mental program has helped a lot of players, plus the influx of players from other randomizers, such as Free Enterprise, and we have a couple of people from the Elite to Past randomizer as well. Just having a knowledge of vanilla Final Fantasy 6 games is a huge proponent of Worlds Collide. But with that in mind, Joker, we're gonna sign off. I want to thank you again, the Joker, for doing comms with me. Thank you again to Neighbor Ilana for starting us out, and thank you again to Knuckly Kong for tracking for us as well. Knuckly, one of the best trackers in the business. Knuckly, you should start tracking. Start demanding pay for your services. You're so good at it. If you're good at it, get paid for it. And with that, we want to hope everyone has a good rest of their Saturday afternoon. Bye bye.